It is a brilliant day to just show up. Hi, everyone. Yvonne Heath here, nurse turned author, speaker, and changemaker, and your host. Welcome to Navigating Grief with Heart and Humor, where we talk about, plan, and prepare for grief, transitions, end of life, all the messiness in between, long before it arrives, and diffuse the fear so we can live fully now. Most of the time, we've been in the deep trenches of grief, transitions, confusion, chaos, and realized how ill prepared we were. Now, when I say being prepared for, I've heard many people say, well, you can't prepare for grief and end of life. And I beg to differ, because part of preparing is accepting that life is unpredictable, prepare for anything, have a plan, and know that the plan, there will be glitches. It is preparing and accepting. And there are many things that we have to accept about this life if we want to alleviate and eliminate excessive suffering. And the unpredictability and that change is the only constant are some of those things. And those are the things we talk about with humanness. I am flawed, imperfect. I am here to teach and I am here to learn. We are all students and we are all teachers. We can love and support one another along the way as we navigate this journey we call life. So I'm so honored that you chose to just show up today. As always, I want to start with a fun fact because it's already serious enough. And I just think of this very transformational time in our lives, in the Heath family 5 as we are. And our children, Jaden, our younger children, our twins, Jaden and Tanner, are preparing to leave for the summer, and then they are going to university. So they've just had a formal, an athletic banquet, and it is just so joyous to see these girls dressed in these beautiful, cute little dresses, and they look so fancy. The boys were all handsome. They had on their collared shirts and dress pants and nice shoes, while the girls, with their beautiful dresses, they wore, wait for it, socks and sandals. You heard it. I said it, and it's true. Socks and sandals. They wore little ankle socks and their Birkenstocks or their little running shoes. And you know what? I love it because they are choosing comfort over trying to walk in heels that, well, it's impossible for me. Maybe you can walk in heels. I can't walk in heels. But I just think it's just so hilarious and awesome. And I just think how great. There are so many things that, kids today, children today, teens today, we hear a lot, oh, kids are so entitled. And, once again, I'll say, whose fault is that? The adults. However, but they have their own voice. They are confident in being able to wear socks and sandals, in having an imperfect body and saying, this is my body and I am going to just be happy with it. And I love that. So the socks and sandals, maybe that's just a thing in Canada. I don't know, but I think it's fabulous. Socks and sandals are my favorite thing. I will wear them anywhere. So just thought I'd share that with you. And now, before, again, our conversation today, as always, I want to take a moment, to pause, take a couple slow, deep breaths, because for all of us, we know there's a lot of things going on outside, many things pulling us away, and we are choosing to be here. I want to be present. I want to be fully here for you. I want to just show up and land here. I am here to learn and to teach, and to do that, I want to take 2 slow, deep breaths, which is my ritual. When I close my eyes, take a slow, deep breath. I'm inhaling and I'm setting an intention. What is my intention for our time today? And when I exhale, I want to ground myself and just let go of everything else, all the to-do list, all the other things that are calling me away, and be really present here. So I invite you to create your own ritual or join me. And I'm going to close my eyes and just take a slow, intentional inhale through my nose. and exhale through my mouth. And one more time, setting an intention. And exhaling, letting go of all the rest. This calms me and helps me to center and feel grounded for our time today. So let's begin. We are going to talk about being a part of the sandwich generation. And first of all, if you are not a part of the sandwich generation, I'm sure you know people all around you who are. And if you've never heard the term, it's quite simple. It's people in, and I don't say middle age, say midlife, maybe some as early as 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever decade you happen to find yourself in, depending on how long your parents live and how late you had your children or how early. Anyone who is navigating this journey and caring for children at home, or caring for children, and have aging parents who also need care or health. Their health is changing, things are changing. And the truth is that we are also perhaps dealing with our own issues, health issues, whatever it may be. I mean, that's life, right? And so I have certainly been in the sandwich generation for a few years now. My parents, and you know, when I say parents, that means anyone, any older adults, aging people who are important to you, who are in your life, who you care for. It may be relatives, neighbors, other people in your community, parents, whoever it may be. So when I say parents, I mean, you know, our elders, the seniors in our world that we care about. And when I say children, I mean, when we are caring for children, perhaps you care for other people's children, or you know, have nieces, nephews that you also care for. So children and aging adults, whoever they may be. And so when you're in the sandwich generation, it's like, you know, you're like the in between the two pieces of bread. the bread are children, adults, and then here you are, you're navigating your life, and you have these two parts of your life that also require your attention. And for most of us, we already have stacked way too much on our plate. So how do we navigate all of this? And of course, when you've had your children, or, you know, whoever the children may be in your life, and you're taking care of them, or you're a part of their lives. But when you have children, of course, you're anticipating, and you know, yes, I'm taking care of my children. And often, sorry, the elephant in the room, we can be in denial about our parents because perhaps for a long time they were doing their own thing and you didn't have to care for them per se, you know, had to do that Sunday phone call or visit every now and again. But suddenly something has changed, whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, and suddenly or, you know, it may be sudden or it's sort of slow and insidious, and suddenly you realize, oh my goodness, like my parents need me more mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, some way. And I'm also like working and doing all my things and taking care of my kids. And I want to say right here and now, let's acknowledge and allow the grief in this. There is grief as you maybe envisioned, you know, your parents doing okay, they were always healthy, and you want to focus on your kids. You want to focus on your life. And whether that feels selfish or not, I don't believe it's selfish. It's selfish. It's how you feel, especially if we are very ill prepared for that change, or that change came suddenly. Or let's just call it, perhaps you didn't really get along with your parents. You don't get along with these parents or people in your life, and suddenly they need more help and you're feeling obligated, but you don't really want to do it. There you go. I've said it. You also may have siblings or other people, they may have, if it's a neighbor or somebody, they may have children who should, be helping, should be a part of their journey, and they're not. So they're in this sandwich generation time. There is an influx of emotions and uncertainty, and maybe there's guilt, resentment, all kinds of things, remorse, things that you have to navigate. And we don't talk about this enough, actually. We don't talk about the challenges. And I have many relatives and friends and community members who are in the same situation. And many of them did not see it coming. And so, as my takeaways, best time to talk about, plan, and prepare for grief transitions and end of life is when we are young and healthy. And we don't often think about it then. And the next best time is now. Yep, we can say, wow, yes, I wish I would have better planned for this time and realized that maybe my parents were going to need more help at some time. And now I don't know what to do. And so I invite you to take a slow, deep breath, have your feelings, have a pity party, whatever you need. And when you're ready, getting to the now what? Now, what can I do? And oftentimes, this is a crisis situation. Parents suddenly need more help than you can give. And just know that that's truly what we've normalized in our society, right? We are not proactive. We have not planned well for these transitions. So I find myself, and I will only ever talk about my own experience because I am 58 years old as I'm sharing this in 2023. And yeah, I know, right? I don't look 50. What am I? 58. Haha. I have an older son. We have an older son, Tyler, who lives far away, and he has children. And that's a whole other story that for another episode. We have our children, twins, younger children getting ready to go to university. And in my mind, before my parents or, the aging adults in my life would need more help, they would be gone. And then, I'd have some time, and then I would be navigating that. And they've actually overlapped. And there have been 4 actually aging parents, relatives in my life that I care about who have had a decline in their health in the last 6 months. 4. And I have to tell you, I am beyond grateful for the work I have been doing, because I feel like all the work I've done in my nursing career and in the last several years of creating Love Your Life to Death and the IJustShowedUp movement has honestly helped me prepare for this time more than anything, because I understand that grief and joy can coexist. I accepted and accept that life is unpredictable, prepare for anything, and change is the only constant. And here it is. And so I suddenly found myself supporting emotionally, driving to appointments, going to the hospital. My husband, Jordy, actually, as a paramedic, picked up, went to a call, and actually had to take 2 relatives to the hospital 2 weeks apart. I mean, it's just been an incredibly chaotic time. And again, as we're preparing our children to leave the nest, and that is all consuming. So I'm speaking from experience, lived experience right now, of saying, okay, there is a lot right now. I have literally stopped, taken these slow, deep breaths. Sometimes I only have 10 minutes. I will go sit in my garden, or I will garden. Well, my garden is looking great, let me tell you, because that's where I go to work things out and when I'm stressed. my gardens are looking awesome. Weeds, I'm just pulling them out. Feels so good. Because all that grief, as my friend Maria Klivkoff says, I have to convert it to mourning, and I go out in the grass or in the garden, and I'm just feeling the earth and grounding myself and saying, my gosh, I can't believe all of this is happening all at the same time, all at the same time. And then again, I take a breath. I say, okay, this is temporary, that there are this many demands. And I thank goodness for some of the work and that I've been proactive, and I continue to be proactive throughout anticipating the next steps. And so some of the things that I have done that have helped me, number one is being very intentional about creating joyful moments and pauses and time to refill my bucket and check in. And I have my boundaries of what is okay and what is not okay. And sometimes the demands are still more. And you know, we talk about balance in life. That concept, sometimes life is out of balance. My life is out of balance right now. There's too much going on. And I understand that, and I accept that it is temporary. And in it all, I still make sure that I just show up for myself first, because otherwise I will not be able to do the rest. And so I've booked a massage appointment. I go to my garden, and 5-minute walk, 10-minute walk, 15, whatever it may be. When I'm driving to go pick someone up for an appointment, I blast the music and I sing as loud as I can. I'm walking down the road, hi, saying hi to everybody, and sitting in the waiting rooms. We have been in many waiting rooms lately. I see it as precious time with my mom is one of the people, and precious time to have conversations, precious time in the car to just be together, to do these things. And if we can see it as precious time and know that the extra demands are temporary, it is not always going to be like this. And I also, of course, that compassionate community, creating my mom's village and the other relatives, it is essential that they have their village, their compassionate community. No one can be everything to anybody. And so if that is a situation you find yourself in, find support, find help. There are resources out there. I continuously look on my website. There are some resources. I continuously am looking for those who are willing to just show up and be a part of her journey, my journey, whatever is needed at that time. I am writing things down. For my mom, for example, I'm writing down all the details of appointments and tests, etc. I share this with my siblings when they say, is there anything I can do? Because I live where my parents live, so it's different, and they live afar. They would be more than willing to help. However, they live far away, so there are certain things they can do and certain things they cannot do. So when there's something like, oh yes, this is an online thing, yes, please, thank you, do this, that we really must get good at and better at our boundaries, knowing what we can do, knowing what we cannot do, and asking for help when we need it and letting people know. I've had so many people say, I am so exhausted, I can't do this anymore. And I said, well, does anybody know this? Well, no, I haven't said anything. Clear is kind. And as opposed to just feeling resentful that people are not asking, let them know what you need. And in all this, I keep in mind the 5 Ds. Let's see, I wrote them down. Do, delete, defer, delegate, or decline. So do, what can I do now to get something off my list? Because oftentimes we just keep adding things to our list that could be done in 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. If it can be done in 5 minutes, just get it done. If you can do it now, just get it done and minimize your to-do list. Defer. It's like, you know what? This is something I need to get done. I can do it next week, next month, in 6 months, whatever. Defer whatever you can when you find yourself consumed by all that needs to be done. Deferring is wonderful. And delegate, again, there's that, I don't know if I'm in the same order, it doesn't matter. Delegate is that thing that we need to get better at. I spend so much time cleaning the house and doing this and that. Oh, I have to do so much. Well, there's many people in my home that can do it, or it can just not get done. Or here's another big thing in women. I'm sorry, we're very notorious for this. We can do it better, so we want to do it. Well, let it be 80% okay, or even when things are really hitting the fan, 50%. Just leave it. At the end of life, if your floor was a little messy and it was dusty, oh well. I sweep the floor when I'm bare feet and all the sand's sticking to my feet. And I think, okay, I need to sweep. In the big picture of life, how important is it? And ask yourself those questions. What is most important right now? What is most important right now? Because that prioritizing will save your life. And delete. Sometimes we just don't have to do it at all. Right now, I have really stepped back from social media, and I love being on Facebook and wishing everyone a happy birthday and seeing what people are up to. And I don't have the capacity at this time. When I'm visiting, I'm only doing what I can do right now. And the time when I'm not doing something for someone else, I am an introvert, empath with ADHD and so many other things. I need my time. I need time to be alone, to be in my garden, to be with my animals. I'm also highly sensitive. I have to really work at not absorbing other energy or expanding my own energy. And I do not wish for any toxicity around me. So I will decline, delete, defer, delegate, and do all of these things, especially now. Know that when you are in this situation where you're dealing with, navigating your own things, my right leg, navigating that journey for a very long time, and children and all the things that are happening in their lives, and adults, we simply must prioritize. And there are so many wonderful supports out there. And yes, sometimes it feels overwhelming to find them. Lean into finding the supports you need. If you have relatives and you've asked and you have been very clear in saying, I am not able to do this on my own. Because I'm sorry, once again, elephant in the room, oftentimes we're very frustrated because people aren't helping, but we're still doing all the things. So you know what? If you're going to keep doing them, people are going to keep saying, oh, she's got it, they've got it, it's fine. Even if you've said, well, this is really hard to do, but you're still doing it. So I would invite you to have your very clear boundaries. And if you cannot get the support you need from the people that you feel could contribute, ask them what they can do. Okay, you're not able to be here. Can you contribute financially so we can hire someone? What can you do? Because we are all, each and every one, we're each other's responsibility. The burden cannot fall all on one person. And if you truly do not have anyone, go to a support group, support online, seniors, organization, something. Keep looking. A church group, a community group, somebody out there cares, and they will help you. And truthfully, again, that compassionate community, those family, friends, neighbors around this person, you would be amazed at how many people will just show up if you ask and if you let them know that you need help and that anything would be helpful. 15 minutes, everyone has something they can contribute. Joe down the road, would you mind? Is there any chance you could bring my mom's garbage to the end of the road? Sue, do you mind getting my mother's mail? Jack, my mom or I'm going to order her groceries online. Is there any chance that you could deliver them? I found out that our local pharmacy will deliver my relative's meds for free. There are things in place. Yes, there's a lot of cracks. It is an imperfect system, but here's the thing. When you have this many demands, remember that grief and joy can coexist. Prioritize, create precious moments with your aging elders. Create precious moments with your children. Bring gratitude and love with you wherever you go. Be in charge of your own happiness. Be intentional about creating joy, singing in the car, dressing in bright colors, saying hello to neighbors, finding a safe, supportive person to vent to. And you need your compassionate community. You also have a village, family, friends, neighbors, coworkers. Maybe they can help with the dog, drive your kids somewhere, whatever it may be. We need to get back to being a part of compassionate communities and asking our compassionate community to be a part of our journey, especially when it is very challenging. Being a part of the sandwich generation presents many challenges, easier said than done, yes, and many wonderful opportunities. Also, P.S., aging elders and children, bring them together. Bring them together. Can all be a part of each other's journey. We just have to get back to being that compassionate community, just showing up for ourselves first and just showing up for one another. So I would absolutely love to hear, especially from those in the sandwich generation, navigating, taking care of children and aging parents and, your own health issues or mental health issues or whatever you may be navigating. Let's talk about it. And here's the thing, you are welcome to acknowledge and allow your feelings. And I also want to hear the now what is helping you? What is helping you to create a joyful life in this challenging time, in this time of grief and joy? Because this is where we can learn from one another and support one another through this. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart and soul for being a part of this journey, for being willing to share, listen, learn, unlearn, and evolve. We're all in this together. And again, go to my website. My book, Love Your Life to Death, I feel is very helpful. And of course, my program, Get Ready for Grief. And on my resource page, there are many, many great resources. The Waiting Room Revolution is a perfect, wonderful resource for the sandwich generation. So take good care of you, take good care of your elders and your children, and involve your compassionate community. And of course, my call to action, as always, as you navigate this, if you want to be empowered and resilient, be able to just show up for yourself and those you love, plan your life, plan your death, and then just love your life to death. And always bring your own tambourine to the party. Make that music, sing that song, laugh out loud, garden, shout it out, dance it out, whatever will bring you joy. I love you, my friends. See you next week. Bye for now.